Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out on this messy evening. Welcome to the Caldwell-West Caldwell Board of Education Public Conference Meeting today, Monday, October 13th. The board met tonight in executive session at 6 o'clock p.m. here in James Caldwell High School, room 105. The purpose of that meeting was to discuss personnel, litigation, miscellaneous, and old business matters. That meeting has been advertised and is in compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act and NJSA 10:4-6, also known as the Sunshine Law. The matters discussed will be made public when confidentiality is no longer required, and formal action pursuant to said discussion shall take place only at a meeting to which the public has been invited. Tonight, the public conference meeting is beginning here at 7:04 p.m. in the James Caldwell High School cafeteria. The Board of Education will be streamed live, but all community questions and comments will be welcomed here in person only. The Caldwell-West Caldwell Board of Education public conference meeting is also in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act and NJSA 10:4-6, also known as the Sunshine Law. Notices have been sent to the Progress, Caldwell, New Jersey, the Star Ledger, Newark, New Jersey, and Tap Into West Essex. Notices have also been posted at the Board of Education Business Office located in the Harrison School Building, Gray Street, West Caldwell, and have been delivered to the clerks of the Borough of Caldwell and the Township of West Caldwell for posting. Brian, can you please take the roll?
Yes. Student Representative Adeline Lamens?
Here.
How you pronounce it?
Adeline Lamens.
All right. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Ms. Martini?
Here.
Ms. Landolfi Jefferson?
Here.
Ms. Mack?
Here.
Mr. Diambola? Here. Ms. Grosso?
Here.
So we have 5 voting members present. We have a quorum.
Emily, you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? No, not really.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brian, are there any communications for the board?
There were none.
Okay, so we're going to move to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mrs. Grosso. Good evening, everyone. There are several things I just want to touch base on before we hear from our architectural firm. Firstly, we have an update on matter of the bed bugs that were identified at Grover Cleveland Middle School. Okay, so that occurred earlier in the month in accordance with the guidance from the EPA that's distributed widely across the nation. The district employs a licensed pest management company to support the district's integrated pest management, or IMP, plan. Our facilities manager spearheads our efforts in the implementation of the IMP, aspects of which continue to be implemented at all times. This plan includes constant monitoring of school facilities, routine maintenance, regular preventative pest control that is scheduled periodically during the year, and issue-specific pest control measures. The actions taken by the district to treat the identified areas of Grover Cleveland Middle School for bed bugs fall into the category of issue-specific pest control measures that occur while all other components of our plan remain in place. Grover Cleveland Middle School administration has been very communicative with staff and parents, providing updates to the matter that was identified in early October. GCMS administration will continue to provide updates in the weekly update to parents. It is our aim to remain vigilant with regard to the implementation of our integrated pest management plan. Secondly, the Jefferson Elementary School principal search is moving forward. You'll hear about it as part of our Personnel Committee meeting report. I want to thank all of the staff, parents, and students who shared their thoughts and preferences with me as part of the process. The process included surveys of staff, parents, and 5th grade students, as well as in-person and virtual meetings. The contribution of our stakeholder groups resulted in the creation of interview questions as well as leadership style preferences, which helped the interview committees immensely when reviewing qualities demonstrated by candidates for the position. We're on track to have the new principal of Jefferson appointed at a special meeting to be held on November 3rd at Jefferson Elementary School. At this time, board members, do you have any questions for me?
Any questions?
Okay, all right, so then I would like to invite our representatives from Perrette Samjian to come on up and.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Josh Thompson. I am a senior associate with Perrette Samjian Architects out of Rockaway, and I'm here tonight to talk to you about the November 2025 referendum. Before I get started on that, I'd be remiss not to share a very brief update on the March 25 referendum. Starting this week, we are releasing projects to contractors for public bidding.
Great.
So this week will be the air conditioning upgrades at the high school and the middle school. Next week, we are going to release the vestibules, which is at every school. The week after that, the wood shop and computer lab renovations here at the high school. And then the week after that, the piping infrastructure upgrades at Grover Cleveland. So over the next 4 weeks, those are what we're calling phase 1 of the March 25 referendum. We've been only 3 weeks from tomorrow. Very briefly, the referendum question centers around the athletic center. Last year, or earlier this year when we voted, it was infrastructure at the schools. There was a second question about the athletic center. It's been revisited. The board has taken in the community input. And really, we went back to the drawing board, which was looking at the original goals. They have always been to modernize the building, to bring it into regulatory compliance, and to provide equal facilities for men and for women. So on the screen, you can see images of the outside and the inside of the existing field house. And as we started to look at these improvements, we wanted to make sure we got down to the critical needs. Right now, there's only lockers for men or for boys. Proposed, we're going to provide men's and women's. There's old and small public restrooms. We're going to do new restrooms, multi-fixtures, and look at traffic patterns to kind of ease the congestion at halftime. Barrier-free compliance does not have it now, it will, and obviously it will be a modernized facility. Looking at it on the site, just to orient you, at the bottom of the screen is Westville Avenue. The high school where we are would be into the upper left, just off the screen. And the existing field house is there on the right-hand side with a gravel parking lot in front of it. The semicircular arch you see in front of it is the shot put area. And what we are looking to do is to basically take that existing field house, which is now the red dashed line, and expand it towards Westville Avenue, no closer to the adjacent property line, but towards Westville Avenue, into the blue footprint. It'll end up being about 7,000 square feet, and it'll have dedicated parking in front of it, not parking for all parents during the football game. It's only going to be about 5 or 6 spots, but it'll have an accessible space, and then it can be for trainers or drop-off, just someplace to duck off of Westville Avenue as people are getting in and out of their cars. The green area that you see just to the left of the parking lot is no longer the shot put. That is what we're figuring to be a bioretention basin, or something that we have to put because of stormwater management regulations. We are increasing the footprint of the building. We are adding concrete sidewalk plaza around it. So by virtue of that, we're increasing the impervious coverage. We have to handle that additional runoff somewhere. It will be in that green area, which means that the orange is the relocated shot put. We made sure not to put it in the middle of the javelin throw, and it's also at the end of the discus, but out of the way enough where that field can still be used for a variety of practice sports as it is today. Looking into the plan a little bit further, I'll walk you through from left to right. On the left-hand side in the red is the trainer's room. This trainer's room supplements what's already here at the high school. It does not replace it. So it's essentially putting a trainer at the field at the point of action, I'll say. Hopefully no injuries. But there is a trainer's area that is the side of the building that is the closest to the field. It'll have windows looking out onto it for the student athletes. As we walk across the building, From left to right, the next area in the blue are identical men and women's facilities. So there's 2 team rooms, a primary and a secondary. There's a coach's office with a private restroom and changing area with a shower, and then student facilities that are usable only by the ones in the locker room. So that is the blue area. In the green are your public restroom facilities. The way that we've designed this is to encourage kind of a one-way traffic flow. So somebody coming from halftime during one of the games to use the facilities would enter the building at the bottom of the picture where that triangle is. They'd enter into the public lobby, which would have a couple of water fountains. And if they needed to use the facilities, they would go to the men's or women's side. They would use the facilities, proceed to the back of the building, which is where the sinks would be housed, and then exit out the back of the building. Knowing that the crush of halftime is a very real thing, trying to get people in and out of the same doorway is not very efficient. In this way, we're hoping we can streamline it. Off of the back of the building, there is additionally a family restroom that we've included in the design. You can imagine this would have something like a changing table for a parent with a couple little kids to get in, and it's from experience, it's much easier to deal with them in a confined space. So there will be a family restroom at the back. To the right-hand side, that is the women's side. It is in square footage the exact same as the men's. And then the rest of the spaces are storage or utility. Some of it is building services where the water, the electric, the gas is coming into the building. Other is athletic storage, whether it's javelins or shot puts or any other pads, equipment, things like that. There will be a little bit of high bay storage, I'll call it, on the right-hand side. The roof is a little bit increased there to allow for some additional storage, but really storage. Looking at the outside of the building, we were conscious to make sure that this was not a garish box. We're not trying to recreate the Museum of Modern Art or anything like that. So we're trying to use local type materials. Very simply, aluminum storefront and glass, brick. We have some cast stone insets, which could be a branding opportunity. We have the chief's head and some raised vinyl lettering for the once a chief, always a chief. Some metal roofing, metal louvers, but again, trying to keep everything very local and standard and not make it look out of place. We understand that this is a residential neighborhood, trying to decrease the scale and play with the heights a little bit. What you see on the left-hand side is the door to the trainer's room. Going across, you have the main entry under the kind of triangular pediment, and then to the far right-hand side, there's 3 doorways there. That's the athletic storage. So before I go, I do want to open it up to questions in an effort to streamline it. Maybe I can answer some of them before you ask them. So we'll just briefly go over them. What is the budget? So what we've identified is just under $8.5 million. That is the all-in number. So that includes the construction cost, the contingencies that we're carrying, market escalations, legal fees, bonding fees, professional services, Department of Education review fees. That is kind of the bottom line number. If you look at that compared to the previous iteration, it is just about half. If you remember, the other design was 2 stories. We're at 1 story. It starts to make a little bit of sense in that regard. Is it just for football? The answer is no. As I said at the beginning, one of our primary tenets was to make sure that we're providing equal facilities for men and for women. And so it's for all physical education students and athletes to use during school, during sports events. In speaking about the locker rooms, one thing I'd like to note is on the plan I showed you, they are exactly the same square footage. They may end up with a different number of lockers simply because of storage needs. So if the men's side is using it for football, those tend to be wider lockers than maybe a field hockey locker is on the other side. So you may end up with more women's lockers than men's lockers, but it's the same overall square footage. The exact design of the locker rooms to that point has not been figured out yet, but in the primary for each of the men's and women's, it'd be 60 to 80 lockers, and then the secondary, which is the smaller locker room, would be about 32. Why $8.5 million for 7,000 square foot? That would be the state of New Jersey and the requirement for the Board of Education to pay prevailing wage. Prevailing wage is very similar to union rates. It evens the playing field, and everything is just more expensive. As far as the tax impact, the numbers, the district had hired a financial advisor who came up with these numbers. $84 annually on the average assessed home for the borough of Caldwell, $83 for the average assessed home in West Caldwell. If you break that down, that ends up being just about $7 a month. And again, these are projections. It depends on the sale of the bond, the interest rate at that time, but last I heard that the interest rate market on bonds was still doing pretty well. Why does the public have to vote? So the Board of Education does not have $8.5 million sitting in their capital reserve. So in order to pay for this, they need to borrow the money. In order to do that, they have to bond it, and any time that they are going to take on a long-term debt, it needs to be approved by the public. So that's where you lovely folks come in. You have the opportunity to vote yes and consent with the board, and essentially, yeah. This will be on your regular ballot at the November election. So it is not costing the board any more money to put this out to vote. The ballots are already created, and the polling places where there's already cost figured in. So it will be a question on your ballot. If you haven't gotten it in the mail yet, you should be getting a sample ballot that should read everything I just explained to you. But that voting day, 3 weeks from tomorrow, Tuesday, November 4th. So with that, are there any other questions?
No. Any questions for Josh while he's here? Sure.
Doug Pearson, I guess I'll tell you where I'm from.
Yes, please, thank you.
Just a couple of questions. The cost estimate.
Hold on.
Was that from Fred Somsen or a third party estimate?
That is Pret Samjian.
Is it checked by a third party?
Yeah, could
We have a mic
actually,
for
if
you.
you could start over on the microphone so that we could
Sure.
stream. Yeah. There you
My
go.
mistake.
Thank you.
I'm just going to ask some general questions. And I've just moved back into town. I mean, I've been living here for a long, long time. But I'm just back in town, so I'm just learning about this more. The cost estimate, I guess your response is the estimate was created by Pret Samjian.
Correct.
And my follow-up was, has it been checked by a third-party estimator or
It
or
has
not?
not. It's
Okay.
based on our years of experience and seeing the current
That's what I
market.
thought you'd say, years of experience. I get it. You've been doing this for how long?
Me
13
personally,
years? Yeah. Okay. Who will manage the construction when you actually get going? Is it going to be business administrator or a third party or a construction manager? Is that included in the budget or what?
So we haven't decided that yet. More than likely, we're going to have Pret Samjian is going to help with the construction management.
Okay. Was there an asbestos study done on the old facility? No, I was here I graduated in 1973, and it was a dump then. No, but is
Yeah.
there an asbestos study that
yes,
was
we,
done?
we had testing done. Abatement is included in that overall
Okay.
cost.
And the last thing, I guess, is, I come into town and I start to see, I love living in the Caldwells. Oh, my gosh, And it's good at least there's a place where you can hear what people are saying. My question really would be to whoever, who is monitoring that for complaints that may or may not have anything to do with the referendum? Because if they have a complaint about something, doesn't matter, they'll vote no. So is there somebody monitoring that so it can be addressed at the next meeting?
monitoring the website or the Facebook page?
Monitoring, whether it's there or somewhere else, what's the general feel of the community toward this? Positive, negative, what are their issues? I mean, you obviously, you solved a lot of the issue by reducing the cost.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the only thing that they're upset about, then you'll pass. But if there's something else, you want to know before the vote comes, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, we had a marketing firm back for the first referendum in March.
Mhm.
They were monitoring the site pretty closely,
Mhm.
and we had very heavily attended board meetings
Mhm.
where the public was very, very vocal with the board about the fact that they didn't want a monstrosity, this two-story monstrosity built
Right.
off of Westville Avenue. There were water retention issues raised, but the water retention was still always the same, having that, what we call like a little rain garden there, right? And then basically it was the cost. It was like, why do we need the second floor, which is just a massive open space? You keep saying it could be, oh, the towns could use it for seniors, wrestling's gonna use it, but the community really felt like it was very indulgent, right? There was a conference room. As a board, that plan was designed by Pret Sanjin, that was with the input from the athletic director, the coaches, both sides, men,
Right.
female, male, the superintendent, the building principal. We felt that it encompassed everything that everybody wanted, and we were like, we're gonna take the pot of spaghetti, throw it at the wall, give them everything, and let the community, let democracy work, right? If the community is gonna buy it, great, everyone gets what they want. The community was very loud, because 2-1, they passed question 1, and 2-1, they failed, they tanked that field house. So what we really did was we took all the feedback that marketing firm gave us, right, from the meetings, from the Facebook page, from the FAQs emails coming in, and basically it was the same thing. People were okay. Yes, women need equality, right? We're in 2025. Our girls have no place to change, right? Fantastic. The restrooms are disgusting. It's an embarrassment when visiting teams come. Fantastic. The facility needs to be updated, but not at $15.9 million. So we cut it the top half off, which everyone hated, reduced the price by 50%. The cost went from basically, we think it was like 120 something a year annually. I think it was like 123 and 122 to 84 and 83. And all we're asking is that the public really educate themselves, the website's updated, and to give our kids a chance and pass it. So I hope that gives you a...
Sure, and that tells me that you're answering the questions that were raised back in the spring, but there may be more now. So I would just suggest you take a look at it yourselves and try and deal with it, because and there are too many reasons to vote no. There's only one to vote yes, so.
Right. Thank you,
Okay.
thank you. Oh, I just wanted to address one more thing. When you were talking about the proposed, were you talking about the budget of the entire project or the estimate for the tax impact?
The budget for the project.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay.
Thank you.
So Josh is going to be here one more meeting on
In
the
2 weeks.
27th of October. So if anybody watching, listening, spread the word. Any questions, please feel free to come back. It'll be the last chance before the election on November 4th. If you vote by mail, you should have your ballot by this point. The question and the Board of Education candidates are on the back of your ballot. So anybody watching as well, you have to flip your ballot over, and that's on the back.
Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Fenari, the GCMS kids, we ready for our kids? Students?
Yeah.
We ready for the students? Yeah? Okay. Girls, you want to come on up? We have our students from GCMS, the House of Courage and Citizenship. Yay! Tessa and Isabella.
Hi, I'm Tessa from the House of Citizenship.
And I'm Izzy from the House of Courage. Thank you, Board and Dr. Funari, for having us.
Eric LeGrand came to our school after hearing that we all read his book, Believe, for our summer reading assignment. During this assembly, he talked about his life before, during, and after his injury and what he is working on at the moment. He also showed us the video of his injury and videos of his recovery since the tragic moment. By the end of the assembly, kids asked Eric questions regarding his injury and his life, which was an amazing experience for others. Right before Eric left, each house got an individual photo with Eric in the middle. Eric deciding to come all his way to the middle school showed students and teachers that he is a very brave person and an incredible person to look up to. Overall, Eric was a great motivational speaker to have come to our school.
On the second Friday of the school year, we announced the houses that the new sixth graders would be put into. This event was called Sorting Day. To achieve this, all the house leaders gathered their houses into the gym and cheered on the new sixth graders. We followed that up by a round of musical chairs, which us, the house leaders, participated in, as well as some games for the sixth graders and seventh graders. It was a great way to end the week, and everyone left with an exciting upcoming feeling for the new house events.
Who Stole the Beans was a food drive-based competition. Each house had to bring in a specific item. The house with the most items at the end of the day would have to wear the Bean Boss costume the next day. This included a bucket hat, many rings, a bracelet, a bean necklace, and sunglasses. The house with the most items at the end of the week won a bean trophy now displayed in the trophy case. The winner of the Who Stole the Beans food drive was Citizenship. Overall, we collected nearly 700 items in total to donate to the Caldwell Food Pantry.
The first intramural tournament that we had of the school year was Capture the Chicken. Each house had 5 members from each grade to compete in an ultimate football tournament. After several close games, Citizenship took the win. Our next intramural tournament will be ultimate football and will take place next week.
It's that time of year again. Hoopapalooza is back for its 21st year. The tournament dates are as follows. Monday, November 17th, which is 8th graders. Tuesday, November 18th, 7th graders. Thursday, November 20th, 6th graders. And Wednesday, November 26th, students versus faculty games during school. One thing that being a house leader has taught me is how to show the younger kids that middle school is a fun place and not a place they shouldn't look forward to. It has also taught me that being a house leader means to have courage, respect, and leadership, and showing the younger students how to be a part of a community and work towards a common goal.
One thing being a house leader has taught me is to be able to lead the school and make a difference on how the younger students act. Not only as 8th graders, but as house leaders, we have to be able to communicate with our whole school and tell everyone about what we are doing, how we will do it, why we are doing the things we do, and how to be the house that wins at the end of the year. Being able to say that you led almost 80 students throughout the whole school year is a big accomplishment. Not only do we lead those 80 students in our house, but we are any questions.
No, present against them. The lip sync battle, yes.
I think we're gonna win because our team, our grade is just obviously the best. And a lot of the boys are very funny people, and they're gonna come out with something odd.
We're rooting for you. We're rooting for you.
Anybody else? I just want to ask you both, what was the most impactful thing that you took away from Eric LeGrand coming? Because I know my son came home and he was very, 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 very touched by it. Is there something that he said to you that stuck with you?
He talked about how much he wanted to improve after his injury, and I guess that made the whole school think that even the smallest things could be worked upon.
Yeah. Great. You guys did a wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Girls, do you want to take a quick picture with the board for Mom and Dad?
Guess you have to now.
Fenari? I just want to make sure that the website, just going back to Dr. Fernard, so that the website is updated with this timeline that Josh gave us on referendum question 1, with the going out to bid. Is that updated yet?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I just want to make sure that's all updated.
It should be, because we knew these dates,
Yeah, just so that everyone can
2 months ago.
continue to, yeah, so that
Yes.
everyone can
Yes, so we
continue
knew
to
it was
follow
late
the
October.
timeline. Okay.
Yes.
Great. Okay, anything else on the superintendent's report? You're
that's
all
it.
set.
Thank
Okay,
you.
buttoned up. Okay, president's report, we have 2 committee reports tonight, so we'll start with personnel.
Okay, for personnel, the Personnel Committee met on October 7th virtually. Dr. Finari shared an update on the status of the Harrison School nursing opening. There is a candidate being interviewed, and if successful, the recommended candidate will appear on our next agenda on the 27th. The committee discussed the continuing education summer program, and administration will come back to the committee with recommendations concerning staff for that program. Dr. Finari gave the committee an update on the Jefferson School principal search. There were 14 candidates interviewed in the first round. 5 moved on to the second round of interviews, and Dr. Finari will keep us posted as the process continues. Dr. Finari also shared the teacher observation process has begun. The first cycle ends October 31st for the non-tenured and administrators. The first cycle ends January for tenured teachers and administrators. Non-tenured teachers and administrators receive 3 observations and an annual summative evaluation. Tenured teachers and administrators receive 2 observations and an annual summative evaluation. This is a collaborative process used to support professional growth of the teachers and the administrators, and is governed by requirements of the New Jersey Department of Education. And our next meeting is November 5th.
Great. Any questions for the board, from the board? No? All right, thanks, Chris. Policy, please.
Okay, on October 7th, we met virtually. It was myself, Ms. DiMartini, and Dr. Finari. The committee reviewed policies 3216 and 4216, dressing grooming, to finalize the language that we've been reviewing for the last several months. The policies are separated based on the numerical designation set by Strauss Esme. The teaching staff members are the 3000s, and the support staff members are the 4000 series. These policies are new to the Caldwell-West Caldwell Public Schools Critical Policy Manual. Dr. Finari then shared the process for revising policy 5460, high school graduation requirements. The committee discussed several items, including input from the James Caldwell High School administration. Changes recommended by the administration that are not dictated by the New Jersey statute and code are included in this revision as well. This was followed by discussion of regulation 5440, honoring student achievement. Designations for honor roll and high honor roll were included to reflect the differences between middle school and high school requirements. The committee included a statement about recognition of the community service hours for the high school students. Dr. Finari will communicate with the elementary principals to learn what type of recognition occurs in the elementary levels, so we can include that in the regulation as well. A conversation about academic expectations for students within the policy and regulation emerged, and will continue in our next meeting as well. Dr. Finari also reviewed changes of the policy and regulation 5533, student smoking. The updates included revised language concerning updates to the memorandum of agreement with law enforcement, as well as more clarity around the use of smoking paraphernalia and its consequences. Finally, the committee agreed that all policies and regulations that were approved for first reading in September should be moved for second reading and approval in October. Our next meeting will be virtually on November 5th.
Great. Any questions from the board, from Marisa? Great. Good job, Maurice. Thanks. Okay, that being said, can I have a motion to approve them? Oh, no, we're not voting tonight, sorry.
Correct.
Sorry, everybody. All right, so we'll approve the minutes at the next meeting on the 27th. Now we'll move to public comments on agenda items only. Public participation shall be governed by the following. Participant must be recognized by the presiding officer and must preface comments by an announcement of their name and address. Statements are to be limited to 3 minutes duration. Participant may speak no more than once on the same topic until all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. Boards use the public comment period of the meeting as an opportunity to listen to citizen concerns, but not to debate issues or enter into a question and answer session or cross-examination between the public and individual members. Please be aware that not all issues brought before the board will be resolved this evening. Boards may respond to public comment by seeking additional information or by delegating the authority to investigate the issue to the superintendent or her designee. The presiding officer may interrupt, warn, and/or terminate a participant's comments if they exceed the allotted time or are objectively obscene. Participants may be civilly liable for any obscene, defamatory, or slanderous statements made during the public comment portion. Would anyone like to come up and address the board on anything on the agenda this evening? Okay, this is not a voting meeting, but we are voting on one thing in curriculum and technology, which is the HIB. We have one HIB that we are voting on. Before I pass it to Danielle for the motion, if you have the agenda in front of you, you can see that we have a bunch of field trips. We have a book order for Wilson, a Wilson book order, some out-of-district placements that we're going to be voting on the 27th. We'll do the vote right now for the HIB.
Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, motion to approve items A under curriculum and technology on this evening's agenda.
And can I have a second?
I'll second.
Brian, when you're ready, please.
Yes, Ms. DiMartini,
Yes.
Ms. Lindahl Jefferson,
Yes.
Ms. Mack,
Yes.
Mr. Diambola,
Yes.
Ms. Grosso.
Yes.
5-0, motion carries.
We have personnel, some transfers. I'm going to skip nothing to just the personnel. Finance and facilities. Tomorrow, Danielle and I have a finance and facilities meeting with Dr. Fenari and Brian, where we're going to be discussing the Washington School elevator design and bidding process. That'll be up for vote on the 27th. Also up for vote, I'll call attention for the board that the cooperative agreement with West Essex High School for the hockey team that we approve will be up for vote on the 27th, as well as I just signed off on plans this evening for the skylight replacement in the media center of the high school. And Danielle and I will be getting more information on the elevator expense. Facilities, it looks like there's a lot of fun things going on. We have the e-bike presentation. I want to call attention to that. In conjunction, the West Caldwell Police Department, in conjunction, I also believe with the Caldwell Police Department as well. We're very, very blessed in this community to have two very proactive, amazing police departments that really care about our kids and work so beautifully in partnership with our school district. On October 15th, which is this Wednesday, believe it or not, here in the James Caldwell High School CPA, from 5:30 to 8, they're going to be doing an e-bike presentation. Speaking of monitoring, I love living in the Caldwells. If you're on it, the e-bikes are out of control in the townships, pretty much across the state. The tragedy that happened in Cranford, the tragedy that happened in the other town.
Scotch Plains.
Thank you, Scotch Plains. We don't want to be making the news media outlets because one of our children was hurt or killed on one of these e-bikes. So thank God for our police departments. They're amazing. They're going to be doing this presentation. Anyone who's watching, if a parent is concerned or you have time on Wednesday evening from 5:30 to 8, please come here to the high school and listen to the police officer's presentation. Let's see what else. The policies that Marisa kind of just highlighted for us, and that'll be it. That's of basic substance for the 27th, I think. All right, now we'll move on to public comments on anything off the agenda, anything that anyone would like to address the board about. This is your chance. Again, to just review, public participation shall be governed by the following. The participant must be recognized by the presiding officer and must preface comments by an announcement of their name and address. Statements are to be limited to 3 minutes duration. Participant may speak no more than once on the same topic until all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. Boards use the public comment period of the meeting as an opportunity to listen again to citizen concerns, but not to debate issues or enter into question and answer session or a cross-examination between the public and individual board members. Please be aware that not all issues brought before the board will be resolved this evening. The boards may respond to public comment by seeking additional information or by delegating the authority to investigate the issue to the superintendent or her designate. The presiding officer may interrupt, warn, and/or terminate participants' comments if they exceed the allotted time or are objectively obscene. Participants may be civilly liable for any obscene, defamatory, or slanderous statements made during the public comment session. Would anyone like to get up and address the board this evening? Oh. Sure. Want to come to the mic, Kat? Right here, podium. Yeah, you have to.
So I'm just looking at the agenda of Kathy Canale, 156 Small Avenue in West Caldwell. The agenda is a little confusing. So you said you're not voting on anything other than the one item that you did already. So, for instance, on, do we have page numbers? 16? There's a list of policies.
Oh, the policies.
We have a different page number.
Let's go to it. Yep.
And then it says you're revising, it's new, it's abolished. Is there anywhere to see what these policies are as a member of the public, or no?
Lydia, on the website, you can click on them, right? They're clickable links.
Yeah, so, yes, actually, if you call the agenda up, you should be able to click on the links. If you see the documents that are listed there in blue, they're actually hyperlinks to the documents.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure.
That's all I had to ask.
No problem. Anyone else? Going once, going twice? No? Okay. If there's no other questions, our next meeting will take place here at James Caldwell High School, October 27th at 7 o'clock p.m. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:47 and enter back into executive session in room 105?
I'll make the motion.
And can I have a second?
I'll second it.
And Brian, whenever you're ready.
Yes, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All against, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carried.
Thank you. Everyone get home safe. 24 hours left of this rain.